Thanks for joining me again. I want to talk about 5 books and 4 movies. 3 of these books I consider very extreme. 2 of the movies I consider extreme. The first book in the non-extreme version is the book The Passage by Justin Cronin.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello. Hey. The Passage.
Part of a trilogy. The next book, the 12, will be out next year. I read that this was a literary vampire novel, which is why I wanted to read it, because I stopped reading vampire novels and books about King Arthur many years ago when I was a young kid, because there were too many of them and I was just sick of them. So something would have to be very different about a vampire novel for me to read it. I don't like sparkly vampires, I'm sorry. I'm not an Edward or Jacob fan club.
I'm an Edward fan. Yeah, I like Edward, and vampires sparkle and look very pretty, don't they? No, I wish I could take a steak and put it in the heart of all of those stupid Twilight vampires. I hate them. Stupid. So it's not part of the Twilight series? No. Good. Stupid, dumb, jerky stuff.
But this is amazing. This is brutal. These are scary vampires.
Anyway, was it good? Was it a good story?
It's a story that basically starts out as a science fiction novel and ends up as kind of a Conan the Barbarian fantasy novel. That's different. It spreads over like 766 pages. Really good. The second book I want to review is book 2 of the News Flesh, not New Flesh.
Yeah, the New Flesh. What? News? What the hell does news have to do with zombies? New Flesh, right? New Flesh. Yeah.
Yeah, News Flesh Trilogy by Mira Grant. Deadline. She has topped the first book in the sense that in the first book there was this conspiracy that exists, something about the zombies. I don't want to tell you what it is. Well, in the second book, she complicates that, but yet makes the book is still extremely readable. It just flows. That's not easy to do. It's very complicated, and I admire writers like Joe Hill who can write horns, and Mira Grant who can do this trilogy. She's on the way of maybe producing one of my very favorite zombie trilogies. Now we get to the extreme books.
What would you know about extreme books? Edward Lee, The Black Train. That kind of a train? A ghost train or something? Okay.
Edward Lee's The Black Train is out of print as a mass market because Leisure Books is out of, they don't make mass market books anymore.
Anyway, who is Edward Lee? The Black Train. Who is that?
I'm telling you, this book is not for the faint of heart. It shows, I don't know if all of the things that are going on in this book are historically accurate, but they show the absolute worst things that happened in the days when African Americans were slaves. It is really a rough book. I don't expect you to tread lightly when you read this book. Be careful. The second book in my extreme is Jeff Jacobson's Wormfood.
Wormfood. Oh, that's what you are. Wormfood. Yeah. Wormfood. When I get through with you, you're gonna be Wormfood and a zombie. Yeah.
Actually, this book is my surprise of the year.
Oh, was it a surprise of the year for you?
A little 244-page book that when you're in it, you feel like it's dark and rainy. You're swimming around in a pond with rancid dead animals. And he brings this feeling of this book. It takes place in Northern California. It is a brutal, brutal story. And just when you keep thinking the ending is coming, it keeps something or some people keep coming back and back and back, and it really gripped me. I liked it much more than I thought I was going to like it.
Oh, Ralph James White? Didn't he write that book? The Resurrectionist? Didn't he write that? Oh, you really liked that book, didn't you? Because you're stupid. And you thought it was scary and stuff? Yeah.
The third extreme book probably belongs as the first one on the list. It's the one it's the one Ralph James White is the most vilified for. And you look at the comments on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. Succulent Prey is so bad. You're in the room with the serial killer when he does amazing deviant sex, cannibalism. It goes into a complete detail of how he kills people, how brutal he is, the inner workings of the mind of the serial killer. This little gem cost me $5.59 on BarnesandNoble.com. It's real inexpensive. Again, it was a leisure book as a mass market, so it doesn't exist anymore. This is the only way you're going to get it. If you like extreme stuff, if you're a gore hound, I'm not, you will love this book. Buy it. 4 movies I would like to recommend. 2 I consider not extreme, and 2 that are.
Okay. You got some really cool movies you want to talk to me about and see if I might like them? Cool. Okay.
The first one is a really clever zombie film called Doghouse.
Doghouse? Oh, what's that about?
You can probably tell me what that's. I mean, can you even guess?
Is it like some man who was in trouble with the women, and then the women all turn into zombies and kill him? Wouldn't that be fun? What? That is what it's about? Son of a...
Kind of in the vein of Shaun of the Dead. There's some humor in it. It's really, gruesome. I really liked it. You can find it on Netflix streaming. I highly recommend the movie.
Oh, man. That's so weird.
I'd like to also talk about Vanishing on 7th Street. It's a Twilight Zone episode. There's barely an explanation or 2 in the movie of what it could be and what it could not be. It doesn't matter so much. It's very cleverly done. It has Hayden Christensen in it. I know he's one of your favorite actors.
It had that kid, that Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin Skywalker. Oh, he was so terrible. I hope he's a little better in this one, because I really get sick of that.
It also has John Leguizamo and Thandie HOUSTON from Run Fat Boy Run.
Also, it has John Leguizamo, the guy from Land of the Dead. Damn it! He was pretty cool.
Really clever. It's on Netflix streaming, as is Doghouse, and I highly recommend it. Clever little film. Now we're getting into what I consider the extreme films. There's 2 of them.
Oh, shadow? Like, who knows what lurks behind the, whatever. No, Shadow? Is it a scary movie? One that you thought was scary? That means it's lame. Oh, it is scary.
Shadow is also a film on Netflix streaming. It was one we got by accident. We're just like, let's check this out. And when we did, the weird thing about this movie is it's only 77 minutes long, and it's not an anthology like several stories, but it's 3 movies in one. It's difficult to do that in 77 minutes anyway, but to take a movie and flip it 3 times successfully and it be almost hostile type horror. It's grisly. Be careful that you don't watch it thinking it's just going to be kind of an ordinary horror film. It's not. It's very grisly. The 4th one is amoral. I read online recently that they had adapted Edward Lee's novella, Header, into a film. And the reason I wanted to see it was because I heard that Edward Lee and Jack Ketchum do cameos, and they do. But if movies like Frank Henenlotter's Brain Damaged and Bad Biology, if those kind of movies bother you because they are amoral, if those bother you, or Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead, which I consider that an evil film, if those bother you, don't watch Header. What is Header? What, have you thought about it? What is that? What is Header?
What is Header? What is Header?
That was not available on Netflix streaming. Unlike my other 3 movies, that I rented on DVD, and it's a low-budget film. Don't expect any actors you know. The acting is not all that great. The story is twisted, but it is an amoral story. You're in the room with the killers, believe me, and you pretty much watch them do everything. It's grisly. I don't have to tell you much about it. I should tell you not to watch it, actually.
Just my kind of movie.
But anyway, I do appreciate you tagging along.
Well, I gotta go now, 'cause you're boring me. Plus, no one's gonna watch it now, 'cause I'm not on it. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna talk to you later from the most beautiful zombie baby in the puppet world, the sweet Babu. Okay, bye, 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 yay, yay.
And this is my current fun stuff, and thanks a lot. Bye.